Hello there, it's Dusty Thunder with another Reddit story for you. This one is from AITA. Title of this one is, Am I the Astronaut for refusing to cover my coworker's shifts after she called me lazy for not having kids? Is not having kids lazy? I, 28 female, work full-time in retail, and as anyone who's worked retail knows, it can be pretty exhausting. I've got a busy life outside of work, trying to balance my hobbies, taking care of my apartment, seeing friends, and just taking care of myself. You know, normal adult stuff. I don't have kids, but that doesn't mean I'm lounging around with endless free time. One of my coworkers, Sarah, 32 female, has 2 young kids. She's always asking people to cover her shifts, which I understand because being a mom is hard and things come up. Over the past year, I've covered for her quite a few times when she had to leave early or couldn't make it in because some kind of kid emergency. I did it out of kindness because I get that life can be unpredictable and I wanted to help her out. But I've started to notice that I'm one of the only ones she asks to help cover her shifts. It's like she expects me to do it just because I don't have the same responsibilities as she does. Last week, she asked me again to cover for her because her kid had a school event. Normally, I'd try to help, but I already had plans to spend the day with my sister, who I hadn't seen in a while. I told Sarah that I couldn't this time, and she just sighed and said, "Must be nice to have all that free time. You don't have kids, so it's not like you're busy with anything important." Red flag for that bitch. Well, if you don't have kids and nothing's important, there's a lot of shit in this world that's important that's not children. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, our kids are like our most important thing. But no kids, nothing important. Makes no sense, lady. Also, time out for just a second, because if this gal is having to pivot all the time, why wouldn't she plan ahead and specifically be not available or request off for those days because she has kid things? Now, that's where my gut came from. And then I was like, oh yeah, but the school waits till the last second to tell us there's an event 2 days from now. So that's not always possible. And that I understand. I was pretty taken aback. I told her, just because I don't have kids doesn't mean I don't have a life. My time is important too. She kind of rolled her eyes and walked away, but I could tell she wasn't happy with me. Now she's been telling our other coworkers that I'm selfish and I don't understand how hard it is to be a mom. A couple of them has started acting a bit distant toward me, and I overheard one of them saying something like, "She has it easy. No wonder she doesn't get it." I didn't realize not having kids made me less deserving of respect at work. What really gets me is that I've always tried to help when I could, but just because I don't have kids doesn't mean my life is suddenly stress-free or that I can drop everything at a moment's notice. I feel like Sarah doesn't respect my time at all, and that really bothers me. I ended up mentioning it to my manager, hoping for a little understanding, but they just said it's a personal conflict and didn't want to get involved. Of course they didn't want to get involved. That would be work. So now I'm stuck feeling like the bad guy because I said no for once. I honestly don't think it's fair to expect me to cover her shifts all the time just because I don't have children. I have responsibilities too, and I deserve to have a life outside of work. But some of my coworkers seem to think that I should be helping out more because Sarah's a mom and I'm not. Am I being selfish here? Am I the astronaut for finally standing my ground and refusing to cover her shifts after she basically called me lazy? Hells no. And it's much deeper than that, ma'am. First, let's cover this. I think you're being gaslit by your coworkers. I think every single one of them knows it is not your job to help someone that you have no connection to other than working with them. It is not your job to pick up her slack. And I said slack on purpose here because she is asking for you to do her a favor. She is asking for you to help her out. You don't have to do that. You've done it to this point by your own kind heart, and you have been taken advantage of. So yes, finally, you're creating a boundary. Well, sort of. You're enforcing one after the fact, and I think that's what has to become clear here. You've got to say, look, no. Let me go back and look at this. I honestly don't think it's fair. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, so she said no the one time. I think you're going to have to make this crystal clear and say, look, lady. And actually, because she's spouted this to all the minions, and I'm sure there are a lot of single moms or moms working in that establishment. I think you've got to say this to everybody and be like, look, it is not my job to jump in and rescue y'all when you need rescuing. It cannot be me every time. I've been that person most of the time for most of y'all for a long time, but you've taken advantage of me. So if you have treated me like shit or you're talking shit about me behind my back because one time I didn't jump in and rescue your ass, I will not be rescuing your ass again. Congratulations. You've burned a bridge. This is basic human decency. This is DFHB Club 101. If you need somebody, don't be a dick to them. Don't be a dick to them in general, but specifically, if you need them to do you favors, don't freaking do it. Yeah, and then she's going to have to find somebody else to be her rescue here, right? Or she's just going to have to tell her managers that she can't come in those days. Like, she's going to have to figure out another system that isn't you. Right now, you are her system, OP. But there's this entitlement attitude where she's entitled to your assistance. She's entitled to your help. She's entitled to your time. Or was. Not so much anymore, is she? I do not think this is going to be enough change or enough pain to change this person. It's going to be enough pain to change who she treats like shit. Because she's just going to have to find another person. Going to have to find somebody else to take advantage of. It's like now because she's had a yes so many times, now she feels like she's entitled to a yes. And there's no explanation behind it. But to turn around beyond that, and when you don't get the yes, attack, that the weight, like the gravity of the request doesn't matter anymore. Come on, Tater, come on up.
I was saying that I think this is like a form of bullying at work, in the workplace, and for the manager to say, oh, I'm hands off. You can't be hands off when one of your employees is being bullied for a personal choice. Like, that's literally what your job is, to handle that shit.
It's true. And it's a work issue because it's about shifts.
Yeah, exactly. It's not a personal conflict. And the manager needs to step in and take care of it. But when someone says this stuff to you, like questioning back, not the part where they're asking the question and you said no, you need to question back the insult. So you think that I'm this because you have a shift that you can't work, which is your responsibility. And because I can't cover for you, you think that I'm lazy. And you need to do that in front of more than just her. It needs to be in front of the people who are talking shit behind your back. Truth. It needs to be in front of the manager. It needs to happen so that they understand that you're calling them on their bullshit. And I think, in my opinion, I think OP is probably tends to people please. Because when you cover that many shifts for someone, like you are giving them that sense of entitlement over you because you're giving them access to your schedule. And I think for some, in my opinion, when it comes to restaurants and retail, which I have worked both, you have to draw a line, because when you don't, it gives people are going to constantly want you to cover shifts. And my God, I would say it is even worse in a restaurant. Would you agree? Like once you cover a shift for one person, it's like,
I think
everyone's going to line up at your door.
You have so many more people in play in a restaurant too. And all those people are puzzle pieces, and it just, everything is amplified interpersonal conflict wise on the restaurant side because you have so many more people and the alliances are made quickly, right? It's, we should do a reality series about restaurant life.
Here's a good time to reiterate the fact that women aren't just there to have babies. Women can have lives outside of having babies.
Truth.
They don't have to just be moms to have worth in this world. And it pisses me off so much. This woman has either chosen or not had kids yet, and that is her choice. And because she made a choice for herself, she's going to be bullied because she doesn't want to cover your shift. This woman, her coworker, is just a straight up ASCON one. Hey, like the most despicable kind of bizzo out there.
Look, we got a new planet on there too.
That's pretty cool. But dear God, like the fact that you're nothing without kids. No, I am me by myself. I made a choice to bring children into this world. I am me, but I'm also a mom. And to combine those two things, to make that your entire identity, to make that every reason you can't be at work, I do not buy into that bullshit whatsoever. Like if you only are a mom, that's all you know. Like, show your kids that there's more than that in life. Show your kids that you are many things. Like, it's one of the things I will believe until the day I die. All right. I also want to give her this.
Oh!
Yeah. She
stamped it right on us.
Wait, what was the twatopotamus?
Twatopotamus?
Contosaurus Rex?
Contosaurus Rex.
Yeah. All of those things. You get them all because you're the icky woman, and I don't like it. Okay, that's it. Icky.